what I would say the biggest issue with the Connecticut Sun was yesterday, yes, their defense was problematic, but the offensive firepower that they brought in, she was not able to really do anything. Guys, Marina Mabrey had a terrible, terrible game yesterday. Not in terms of points. She ends up with 14 points, but it was her inefficiency that was, it was terrible. It was not good. It was not good. She went 1 for 11 from 3. 1 for 11. Shooters shoot. And if a shooter's in a shooting slump, what should they do? They should continue shooting. And that's what she was trying to do. It took her a long time to get that one 3-point shot. Marina Mabrey is a player that the Connecticut Sun brought on the team for one reason. Because she can hit big time 3-point shots. That's why they brought her in. All right? That's why they brought her in. They brought her in so that she can hit big time shots when it mattered the most. Efficiency wise, yeah, she's not that efficient, right? She's like 30 something percent from the 3-point line for the season, right? She's not crazy efficient from the 3, but she knows how to shoot and hit big buckets, big 3-point shots. And this year for the Connecticut Sun, she has been doing that. So far, for the regular season, for the 16 games that she played with the Connecticut Sun this year, for those 16 games for the regular season, she averaged 42% from the field, from the 3-point line. So that was good, right? That was the best that she's done all like in her career. But yesterday we saw her not have legs. That was the issue, in my opinion. It wasn't the case that Minnesota was doing some crazy defense against her. That was not the case. It wasn't. Yes, did Minnesota play some decent defense against Marina Mabrey? Yes, they did. But Marina was getting good looks at times. She was getting good looks. The problem was she didn't have any legs and would hit the front of the rim or be flat with her shot. That was the issue. That was the issue. And in order for this team to win, if they're not going to play defense, they really do need Marina Mabrey to hit those shots. Like that's key. It's critical. It is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. And she didn't have her legs. All the shots were flat, front of the rim. That's about it. It was a legs issue. She was tired. That's what that was. And the lack of having a healthy Ty Harris, it took its toll, and we saw it in Game 3. All right, Ty Harris, if y'all didn't know, she messed up her ankle in the first couple minutes of Game 1 in the series. She was out all Game 2. She did make an appearance in Game 3, though she barely played. She does have a brace on her ankle to help stabilize it and allow her the ability to play. But she's not that mobile right now. So she only played 6 minutes, I believe, all in the second half of yesterday's game. And the fact that this Connecticut Sun team, they don't have another starting option besides Marina Mabrey, it makes them struggle. When we saw Marina Mabrey play her best, a lot of times since she's been with the Connecticut Sun, a decent amount of time when she's had those really good games, she's come off the bench, guys. In those games, she's come off the bench. We would see Ty Harris in the starting lineup at the starting point guard, and Marina would come off the bench. and light it up. She can absolutely light it up as a starter, but it seems to take her some time to get going. And if she's playing, close to 40 minutes a game, she's dog tired. Her legs are not under her. And so her shots are just short. Now we'll see about tomorrow how many minutes Ty Harris will play. And also we will see if Connecticut wants to make a change in the starting lineup. Now, radical. This is going to be a radical suggestion. Very, very radical suggestion. So don't flame me in the comments. But I'm going to give a suggestion to Coach Stephanie White. Out of the box suggestion. Stephanie White. I recommend making a change to your starting lineup for Game 4. Here's what I recommend. I recommend starting Veronica Burton. Now you may say, why are you starting Veronica Burton? That makes no sense. I say start Veronica Burton because Ty Harris doesn't seem well enough to start. If she is well enough to start Ty Harris. Marina Mabrey does not need to start. Have her come off the bench. You need to have her come off the bench. I'm saying Veronica Burton because Ty Harris doesn't look like she's all the way back. Veronica Burton, she's a point guard, right? She can play point. She can pass the ball around. She can give a break to Alyssa Thomas a little bit from being the PG. And it will allow Marina Mabrey the opportunity to come into the game against the bench players of the Minnesota Lynx. And it allows her to get going faster. Now, is Veronica Burton a player that's going to give you a bunch of points? No, she's not. She's not. But she is going to, for the most part, take care of the basketball. She's going to pass it around. She's not going to be much of a liability, right? Veronica Burton can pass the ball. She can play defense. That's all they need her to do to start. And I'm not saying just because she starts that I am not saying that she should play a bunch of minutes. No. I'm saying start her. Maybe she ultimately finishes the game playing around 15 or so minutes or something like that. But start her at the beginning of the first quarter. Then bring in Marina Mabrey either once the starters for Minnesota are a little bit tired or they start to bring in their subs. Then you get Marina Mabrey going. Marina Mabrey still plays close to 30 minutes in the game. She'll still play a lot of minutes, but she just won't start because I really do feel like one of the things that has really been the difference for Marina Mabrey and her abilities to score is her coming off the bench for the Connecticut Sun. And I really do think that either it's Veronica Burton or Ty Harris is back and is able to play significant minutes. Either way, Marina Mabrey needs to come off the bench for the Connecticut Sun. That's my take, and I know that's probably a wild take for some of y'all. So let's see what y'all got to say in the comments. Let's see how hard y'all going against me. But I really do think that Veronica Burton, she's not a crazy scorer. They don't need that. They don't need a crazy scorer to sort of just start off as the point guard. You need to buy some time for Marina to come off the bench and light it up. That's what you need. And that's what Veronica Burton will do because she's not a liability. She's not. She's not going to score a bunch, and that's fine. And that's fine. Mike says Burton ain't a scorer. I'm not sure about that, Quita. She's not. But you don't need a scorer. You need a point guard that can start off the game. well, that can pass the ball, that can not turn over the ball, that can play defense. That's what you need. Our dog says start Burton. Yeah, that surprised me. I know it's a little bit out there. I know it's a little bit out there. I know it is. I know it is. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the Liberty. Lindy says AT 3-pointers, 3-point shooters have to get in a rhythm. Mm-hmm. Carmela says Marina Mabrey shines with the sun. She has never been someone who can run the floor at a high octave for a long time. She is good from the three, but can be streaky. She's not that girl when it comes to defense. Well, yeah. Zola says Mabrey cannot handle the pressure of starting the game. She needs to go back to the bench. Mabrey can handle the pressure of starting the game. I just think that she plays better off the bench. Because even in the other games in the series, or even in some of the other games in the playoffs, Marina Mabrey, even when she scored a boatload of points, usually it's not right at the top of the game. Usually it's not right at the top of the game. It's after some sort of break, after some sort of timeout, or they take her out the game for a hot second, she comes back in, or at the end of a half, or something like that. Like, Marina Mabrey usually does not start off a game really cooking. Not really. You know, even if she starts, it's usually when she starts the game, ends up coming on the bench, comes back in, and then starts to get on the streak. Because she is a streaky player. She is. And there's nothing wrong with that. And to me, I think what you need to do is you need to optimize the players on the court at certain times. For game 4, Mabrey on the bench. Who's if you're like, oh, what about scoring? You got DeWanna Bonner. Get that ball to DeWanna Bonner. Have her. Hey, DeWanna Bonner, you love to be at the 3-point line? Okay, 3-point line. Go ahead and go. Pass it down low to Brianna Jones. Give and have AT sort of facilitate. Give the ball to Dejanay Carrington, who can kind of do a little bit of everything. I don't think this Connecticut Sun team needs Marina Mabrey to start the game. They don't. They need her to bring firepower off the bench. That's what they need. That's what they need. Because her legs are fresher. To me, it just makes sense. Now, I know not everybody agrees with that, and that is absolutely okay. But that is my suggestion. If Stephanie White was listening, that's what I would tell her. But guys, Stephanie White that's a coaching mind right there. I tell you that. I tell you that. That is a coaching mind right there. Stan says exactly. She's usually more explosive later in the game. Yeah, she is. Marina Mabrey don't really score in the first quarter like that. She don't go off like that in the first quarter. It's usually later in the game. Or if it is in the first quarter, it's later in the first quarter. It's not the first several minutes. It's not the sort of necessary sort of starter, first 5 minutes of the game. She's not doing that. She's not dominating in the first 5 minutes of a game. No, so bring her off the bench. Sure, could that be an ego blow or something like that, and maybe you have to manage that? Maybe, but Marina Mabrey wants to win, so that's my recommendation. Okay, that is my recommendation, but we'll ultimately see what this team does. The answer says Quita is right about tired legs. Less minutes by coming off the bench will help. I really do think it'll help. I really do. I really, really do. Double R says Connecticut going home tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe they will be going home tomorrow. Maybe they will. We'll see. Either way, it'll be fun. Either way, it'll be really, really fun. I'm excited about the games tomorrow. I will be covering them live, so that's something to note. I will be covering those games live. All right. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I will have those games. I'll be doing the play-by-play calls for those games tomorrow. So make sure y'all come back to this channel tomorrow as we actually talk through those games, because it's going to be very, 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 very fun. All right. So my prediction. Also, I gave a recommendation for the Connecticut Sun. Now let me give a recommendation for the Minnesota Lynx. Number 1, Minnesota Lynx. Please, Sharif, figure out a way to keep Alana Smith on the court and not in foul trouble and not fouled out the game. The reason why I say that is because this team, I feel they play at their optimum when you have Alana Smith in the game. And the more she gets in foul trouble, the more it's an issue. Now, in today's game, because I watched the game today. In yesterday's game, it wasn't that much of an issue, right? Because, when she got fouled out, they still they were cooking, right? So it wasn't much of an issue. But if the Connecticut Sun makes the adjustments that I believe they will make, you're going to need Alana Smith in the game. Keep this girl in the game. And the way you do that is by playing Dorka Juhas more. You have to play Dorka Juhas more. Earlier in the game, not just towards the end of the game. Play Dorka Juhas in the first half and in the first quarter, to be honest with you. This is Dorka Juhas is a player who I think has made crazy strides. She is a really good player off the bench for Minnesota. I do believe she gives really good minutes. She is not a liability. So in my opinion, Sharif, play Dorka Juhas more and save Alana Smith for her to actually close out a game. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Because it's not like Dorka Juhas is going to come in the game and be a liability. She's not. She's going to play good defense, and as good of defense as she can. She's going to pass the ball around. She's going to score. All right. But Alana Smith is critical for this team. She's critical for this team, and you need her on the court. So do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you have to do to keep Alana Smith from getting fouled out. All right? She has 2 fouls in the first half. Sit her the rest of the half. 2 fouls at the end of the first quarter. Don't let her play at all in the second quarter. Because she will get that third foul. And she ultimately will get fouled out. Okay? So that's my thing. Play Dorka Juhas more minutes. All right? That's my opinion. That's my opinion there. And ultimately, the Minnesota Lynx is the better team. Ultimately, I do think they're going to come out the series with the win. But I do think that the Connecticut Sun will take Game 4. All right. I don't think that they will lose both of their home games. Like I see them winning Game 4, and then the series ending in Minnesota in Game 5, where the Minnesota Lynx will beat the Connecticut Sun. So Connecticut will lose the series, in my opinion, but I do have them winning tomorrow's game. So that's my prediction. It's going to be a hard-fought game. It's probably going to be a game that's determined by about 5 points. It's probably a 5-point affair where the Connecticut Sun will win.